You are not going to believe this story. Seriously. We're talking about the FBI, a massive manhunt for a killer, and a very, very exclusive plate of pasta. This is a masterclass in how to completely blow an investigation.
And hey, before we get into all the juicy, messy details, do me a favor and smash that like button and subscribe. It's a huge help. Okay, let's get into it.
So get this. A major political activist has just been assassinated. The country is on high alert. A manhunt is in full swing. So you've got to be asking yourself, where is the director of the entire FBI, Kash Patel, in all this?
I wish I were kidding. He was chowing down at a legendary Italian spot in New York City. You absolutely cannot make this stuff up.
All right, so we have to set the scene here, because this wasn't just any old restaurant. This was Rouse. And to really get why this is so unbelievably bad, you have to understand what Rouse is.
Rouse has been an institution since 1896. We're talking legendary. Frank Sinatra, Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, they were all regulars. Oh, and it was also a famous hangout for actual mobsters like John Gotti. This place is the definition of old-school New York power.
And the secret to its legend? It only has 10 tables. That's it. 10. Total. Making it pretty much the hardest dinner reservation to get on the entire planet. And here is the absolute best part, the chef's kiss of irony. The late co-owner, Frank Pellegrino, he was famous for playing, wait for it, an FBI chief on HBO's The Sopranos. So you have the real FBI director dining in a fictional FBI chief's restaurant. It's just perfect.
So while the director is presumably getting ready for that famous lemon chicken, he decides it's a great time to hop on social media. And this is where the situation goes from just looking bad to a full-on dumpster fire.
Let's just look at the timeline, because it's wild. At 6:21 p.m., Patel tweets that his suspect is in custody. Amazing news, right? Well, Rouse opens for dinner at 7 p.m., so he sends out this huge update and then heads off for his reservation. It takes him hours to post a correction.
And here's the problem. Patel's tweet said a suspect was in custody. The reality? Local officials had already questioned and released 2 people. He blasted out completely wrong information, causing absolute chaos and undermining the entire operation from the very top.
I mean, this is just not how it's done. As retired agent Dan Bruner put it so perfectly, FBI does not run investigations on social media. End of story. It's unprofessional, and honestly, it's dangerous.
So as you can probably guess, the blowback was fast and it was furious. And we're not just talking about a few angry people online, we're talking about a storm of criticism from people who actually know what they're doing. Let's go back to Agent Dan Bruner. He said what he did yesterday has never been done by any FBI director before him. Just let that sink in. In the entire history of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, no director has ever messed up this badly on social media during a live case.
And the heat wasn't just coming from the outside. Even inside the White House, the people who are supposed to be on his side, they were livid. An anonymous source flat out called his actions unprofessional and unacceptable.
So you've got this crazy split screen happening. Publicly, the official White House line was that any criticism of Patel was despicable. But behind the scenes, they were in full-blown panic mode, calling it unacceptable. It's a classic case of saying one thing and freaking out about another.
And here's why this whole thing really matters. This pasta fiasco wasn't just a random one-off mistake. It was a symptom of a much, much bigger problem with Patel's leadership at the FBI.
The pressure on this guy was coming from everywhere. Morale inside the FBI was reportedly in the tank. He was getting sued by his own former officials. His staff was accusing him of being inexperienced. Even Trump's base was furious with him over the Epstein case. It was a total firestorm.
And it all leads to this pretty damning assessment from insiders. According to people who worked with him, both current and former, Director Patel was simply crumbling under pressure. That's why this dinner wasn't just a bad look, it was a sign of a leader who was completely in over his head. So let's just recap the sheer insanity here for a second. We have the head of the FBI during a nationwide manhunt, dining at a mob-friendly restaurant with only 10 tables, all while torpedoing his own investigation on social media. I mean, really, what else can you even say? It's hard to imagine a bigger PR nightmare. It is just a complete and total mess.
Which brings us to the big, final question, right? Is there any universe, any scenario at all, where the director of the FBI should be live tweeting an active case, especially when he doesn't even have his facts straight?
I really want to know what you all think. Is this ever okay, or is this just an all-time failure of leadership? Let me know what you think. Drop your take in the comments. Let's get into it. And that is the wild story of the FBI director's pasta fiasco. Thanks for hanging out with me. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss the next one. I'll see you then.